writer books in Kalamazoo, zoo, 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 zoo. I'm gonna send a wire, hopping on a flyer.
All right. So you're listening without the headphones, so to get the fidelity from the studio speakers, right?
Oh yeah, it's just the thing is the headphones are so big for my head. That's why I always have my hands on them. I hold them every time I'm here.
Bless your heart, I know. So what's going on with Jamie? Where's she at? What's going on with Jamie?
We have a lot of studying and assignments and tests tomorrow.
Oh, but you were able to tear yourself away, huh? Good for you.
Probably because I like procrastinating.
Oh, do you? Do you? I find that I do best if my back's against the wall.
Oh yeah.
I gotta really gin up the energy, get it done. Yeah.
It's just I work better when there's a limited time,
Mm-hmm.
so then I don't focus on distractions. I just do it, and also I do most of my work at school.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I got 2 hours of studying done during class because they waste our time in class. The school system's rigged.
It's goofy. My son just got back from North Georgia. He was up there learning automotive engineering repair, and so they had booked out an entire week for him to learn what they had scheduled for him, right? And it's see, do, and then test, right? See, do, and test. You see the work, you do the work, and then you test to make for knowledge, make sure you understood what you were doing. And he had a whole worksheet of things to do, right, with an instructor. And the first day is working on differentials. The rest of his week was supposed to be working just on air conditioning. Again, and a whole week was booked out for all this work. He had everything done by Wednesday morning and left. But he could have stayed till Friday and come back on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, so he just plowed right through the work, That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like students. I mean, he's my son, that's why I like him even more. But I like people that don't milk it, that jump on it, get it done, and do it right, For
some reason people think I do that, but I secretly procrastinate, but they have no idea. My procrastination is like an hour or two more. Or usually, thing is, I'm blessed with a brain that can see something and boom, understand it right away. So I don't have to keep looking and looking and looking again and again and again. Except with math, then I have to keep practicing.
Right. Math is a tough one. And so what level of math are you in?
I'm in pre-calc. Pre-IB, pre-calc right now.
That's tough stuff. Yeah.
Sometimes it can be.
Yeah. Well, when I was taking math in school, we still use slide rules.
What is that? I don't even know.
That was before the calculator. So you had to, so the slide rules, was kind of like a cheat. So they would have all the different values already on this ruler. And then there was, you Google it if you get it.
Oh, wait, no, I've seen those. I've seen those in movies.
In the movies, yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're watching space movies, like early rocket movies, you'll see the engineers working with slide rulers to get their calculations right. But that was all before computers. They all did that.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Another crazy thing about schools now, when you see pictures of comparing and contrasting things that we had back then to now, you see cars have changed. Hospitals have changed a lot. But one thing that stays really similar is classroom.
Yeah.
Everyone still has the desks. There's still a board. Everything. The way the classroom works, the functions, is still very similar.
Yeah.
Very traditional.
But you don't have a chalkboard.
No more whiteboard.
Chalk.
There are schools that still have chalkboards, though. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
Still, but most people use whiteboards, and then they'll have projectors. Some people have a TV thing in their room. Still the same thing, except you can control what you put on the board of the computer.
I was the AV guy, so I would always set up the projectors, in the film for if there was like in science class or one of our classes, if we had a film associated with the class. I was the guy that had loaded up
That's cool.
the film onto the projector and made it work. Yeah.
I would just about lived in a time where the AV thing was still around. Like kindergarten, first grade, we had an AV dude.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
with the TV
Oh,
and the boxes on
yeah.
the big tray that
Right.
had 2 shelves and then the
Right.
TV on top. Yeah.
Right.
And that was like snack time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Anyway, so basically schools were invented a long time ago, classroom type schools
Mhm.
for factory workers. It was just supposed to teach you how to do labor and stuff. Because if
Mm.
you were rich, you weren't going to a classroom, you had a tutor at home.
Right, individual instruction.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So classrooms were really made to make people robotic machinery type working people for sewing, bricklaying, stuff like that, factory workers.
Mhm.
And we just didn't change it, even though the world has changed completely and not everyone wants to be a factory worker anymore.
Right.
So, of course, it is getting better, but that it's not curriculum. It's not in the curriculum to change it from the factory traditional functionality to the best way the school can work now. It's all up to the teacher nowadays.
Mhm.
Like my history teacher, he's cool, but he uses more of the traditional factory type sense. We all have the desks aligned,
Mhm.
and we just sit and watch him talk.
Wow.
That's it. Whereas other teachers, like my physics teacher, Miss Mark Terrell,
Mhm.
he has us sitting in groups of 3, and he calls it like the nucleons of a cell, and we all have our own nucleon. Yeah.
How cool is that?
So a lot of teachers now have acquired a modern mindset and are changing it up and making things fun.
Mhm.
But it's not in the curriculum though.
No,
So,
they have to be
no.
creative.
Yeah, you have to have creative people, creative teachers. And we're lucky. South Fork has a lot of really, really creative and fun teachers. Of course, there are still a few who are like, but most of them are pretty good. But not everyone in the world has that. So there's still plenty of classrooms that still work like a factory.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Garbage in, garbage out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny. So do you know what there is a comet zipping by the earth even as we speak. It's supposed to be visible in Florida tonight if it's not too cloudy. And if we miss it, you have to wait. You ready for this? Wait for it. 50,000 years before you can see it again.
The same comet.
Same comet.
What do we name it?
I don't call it. It's got an astronomical
Aw.
name, which
Should
is
give it
very
a name.
boring. Well, yeah, we can call it.
I'm thinking Phil or Prometheus.
Okay, Prometheus
Or Phil.
Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, like Phil the groundhog.
No, I just thought of Phil.
Oh, well, Groundhog's Day is coming up.
Oh yeah, we watched a video in class.
Yeah.
They still wear the top hats and still knock
Yes,
on that
Punxsutawney.
poor little groundhog's house. I mean,
Mhm.
imagine. I don't
Yeah.
think he wants to be woken up that
No,
early.
no.
But yeah, it's really cute, the little groundhog.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think they said there was 6 weeks more winter because it was a shadow.
Yes. 6 weeks. Yeah. Well, good. That's good. It makes a better season here in Florida. We get more visitors,
Mhm.
more income for the state of Florida. That's a good thing. So yeah, if you're not doing anything in the middle of the night, get outside, take a gander out there. You should see a green streak in the sky, and that
North,
is,
south, east, or west.
I have no idea. This is Florida, so
Is it east our coast here, East Coast? Or you could just see it anywhere. in
what
Florida?
I read online just said Florida. So I'm guessing it's going to be maybe west to east. It could be east to west. I don't know what the orbital dynamics are of this
What time?
particular. Just says in the evening.
In the evening. We're probably gonna miss it. I'm probably gonna miss it.
But and it could be cloudy. Could be
Yeah.
cloudy, So, but it'd be fun to just, poke outside.
There'll
and just
be
kind
other
of.
comets.
Well, that's true. But this particular one has got a 50,000 year interval.
Whoa, is that the biggest interval? What's the biggest interval that a comet's ever had when they passed here?
That's a good question. I don't know that answer, but I know some of them are like Halley's Comet. I think it's a 72-year interval, something like that.
So is it because a comet? I don't think it's because the comet moves really slow. Is it because it orbits somewhere else?
It's because it's
orbiting the sun, not the Earth.
Right.
maybe?
Yeah. Everything orbits this is so
But it goes all around the solar system
it goes right.
at a slower speed
Well,
and maybe
Yeah, I mean, it
at a
depends upon.
different area
It's
than
probably
Earth.
it's probably not a circular orbit. It's probably very elliptical.
Yeah, and
you
then
know.
at a different pace than Earth, so
Mhm,
probably
mhm. And
it'll keep passing and missing Earth, missing Earth, missing Earth
right,
until finally one day.
the orbits sync
Yeah.
up, and then it zips by the Earth. Every so often. Yeah,
Kind of like when two people walk together, how like when they walk, their legs are at a different rhythm, and then for after a while, for 1 second, they'll be walking in sync,
mhm.
and then it goes back to being out of sync again.
Right. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Sure,
Oh, cool.
I like that. That's a good deal. All right. Well, hey, it's time for that break time once again. We thank you for listening, and we'll be right back. We've got much more to cover on the downhill side of this show, so stick with us. That's right. That's my favorite one out of all the. It's just as a toe tapper,
Mhm.
That's In the Mood.
By Glenn Miller.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people like that song when it came out because it keeps fading out and it sounds like it's going to end, but then it comes back
Yes.
over and over again.
Yeah, he
Over
does.
and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Miller employed a lot of really neat tricks, I guess, or just techniques, if was maybe a better word, to kind of hook the listener into his music. So I think he did a really excellent job. He was very well loved, and it was sad when he passed, but he left us some wonderful music. I don't know if you ever knew the backstory about what happened. He was flying in Europe during World War II, and they were entertaining the troops.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so he was lost at sea in an aircraft, and that was what was presumed for many, many decades. Then they finally figured out what happened. They believe now that he was flying along, and there was a bomber aircraft that was directly above him, not aware of what was flying below them. and they were going back to base, and they
Dropped a bomb.
dropped all their pay. They can't land with all their armament.
Was it an ally?
Yeah, it was one of our aircraft.
Oh man.
Yeah, so friendly fire, for want of a better term. But yeah, it was just very regrettable.
That's a
and
sad accident. That's a freak accident.
totally freak accident. And yeah, really sad. But that's what they think happened, because when they're starting to look at the flight path that he had and the flight paths of other aircraft, and they looked at the elevation and what the pilots, and every pilot, when they complete their mission, they had to do a debrief. So they talked about when then they keep a logbook, what they did during the course of their mission, when they released their payload, and at what altitude were they, all that information. So it wasn't, so that's how they were able to kind of say, well, okay, so flying at the speed that he was flying at, the aircraft he was flying at, the altitude he was likely flying at, he probably was right directly underneath that particular aircraft. So the statistical odds are incalculable that something like that would happen, but yet it did. So
that's crazy.
Yep.
Now, another celebrity back in the 1940s that died in World War II. You know Leslie Howard,
yes,
the actor?
Yes.
Yeah. He's probably, most people know him for playing Ashley in Gone with the Wind.
Right.
But he also played a Henry Higgins in Pygmalion, and I saw him as a Scarlet Pimpernel. And then I saw him in a random movie where Humphrey Bogart had like 5 minutes of screen time for some reason, called Stand-In. It was short. It wasn't too spectacular, but I still watched it because it was cool. Anyway, so during World War II, he was supposedly, there were rumors that he joined espionage for the British government. And so he was in Spain, okay?
Doing spy work for the British.
Yeah. And he met this chick named Conchita.
Conchita.
It's just such a femme fatale name.
Right?
Yeah, it was a femme fatale situation. But after that, like his time with Conchita, whatever the heck, he went on this plane and Nazis just shot him down.
Oof.
Just shot the whole plane down. He died. A lot of people think Conchita was a Nazi spy. And gay, yeah. A lot of people think that.
I think that's probably a reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was probably a double agent.
Yeah. I don't think he even knew she was an agent at all.
So maybe, well.
Yeah, it was juicy stuff.
Yeah.
Juicy stuff. They weren't just friends.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I understand. Well, and that's what a lot of femme fatales will do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Yikes. Poor guy. Wow. Wow. What can you say to that? Space news. Astronomers identified 20 ultraviolet emitting supernova remnants in the Andromeda Galaxy.
Where's the Andromeda Galaxy?
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's in the
How
part
far
of
is it?
Very,
How far is it?
very far.
Okay.
Very far.
How do we see into that?
It's another galaxy far, far away, just like they say in the entry of Star Wars. Yeah, it's far away. I don't know how far Andromeda is, but it's out there.
Can we see it through like a really, 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 really powerful telescope?
Sure. Yeah. Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Astronomers have been aware of Andromeda for quite a while. So, yeah. Astronomers have detected a second planet good night, Irene, orbiting two stars. Astronomers have detected a second planet orbiting two stars. Planets orbiting a binary stars are in a tough situation. They have to contend with the gravitational pull of two separate stars.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. How do they do that? Is it like the shape of the planet because the gravity is so strong on two extreme
they probably
places?
have a lot of tectonic motion. They probably have a lot of earthquakes, all kinds of stuff going on. I would imagine it would be a very turbulent system. Yeah, not static at all.
Explosions.
It would be stuff going on. Yes. So astronomers have come closer to, I'm just reading these headlines because the articles will take too long, but astronomers have come closer to understanding how Mercury was formed. Mercury is the
The
first
first planet. Yeah.
in our planetary system. And
And crazy enough, it's not even the hottest. The second planet's the hottest, Venus.
yeah, well,
You would think Mercury would be hotter because it's closer to the sun.
because Venus is
Mhm.
what, kind of a gas giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not gas giant.
Well, it's just
gas baby.
it's a gas baby. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Jupiter would be the giant.
Yeah.
Some people think that Jupiter may be a failed star.
Oh
Have
yeah,
you-
I've heard about that.
Right?
Oh, and that big red spot on Jupiter is a hurricane, like a
Mhm.
giant
You
hurricane.
can fit 100 Earths into
The red spot.
the red
That
spot.
hurricane. A hurricane that's 100 Earths. It's like category gazillion.
I can't wrap my brain around that. That is just wow, right?
Could you, if it's a gas giant, if we developed a spacecraft that was indestructible, like immaculately designed,
Right.
could it just fly through Jupiter, like through it, because it's a gas giant? It's just gas. Could it just fly through the gas, or is it more solid, like gas?
Well, I don't think you can. Maybe through the upper layers of it. Yeah. No.
Not through it.
No. No, not through.
So there's solid stuff, or the gas is just.
A lot
way
of
too
people
powerful?
think there's probably a solid core to it.
So what if there's something in the core,
Like what? Iron?
aliens?
Oh, aliens. No, I think probably iron, nickel, something
Boring stuff.
Yeah, boring stuff. Yes, boring stuff. Yeah, that too. Oh, yes.
What if there's like a treasure in the center of Jupiter?
Okay.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like the new types of emeralds and diamonds that are like perpetual and like super spacey, and they have superpowers. I'm thinking of the Infinity Stones and Avengers. Never mind. It's not an original idea.
Where have I heard this before? Oh yeah, it was another movie. I love it. That's great. So what do you got coming up this week in school? You got anything this coming week looking forward to?
I have a psychology test tomorrow. Oh, okay. You know, why don't I just tell you guys cool stuff about psychology that I studied 2 hours.
All right.
In history.
Cool.
Anyway.
All right.
So there's this disease called prosopagnosia. It's a thing, not really disease. It's more of a malfunction in the brain, in the right hemisphere, that causes you to have this. So there's a case study that was made on this dude who couldn't tell the difference between his wife's face and a hat.
That's a problem.
Because a right hemisphere was messed up, the right hemisphere allows you to see patterns and allow you to have facial recognition.
Okay.
Because it was damaged or just abnormally made or abnormally grown. He could not see faces. And Brad Pitt actually suffers from this, where they can't see faces. These people cannot identify people by faces. They can only identify people by their voices. So, like, a lot of complaints are made that Brad Pitt is so mean. Every time I come near him, he never says hi to me. It's because he can't see your face. So, yeah.
I had no idea he suffered from that. And what is the technical name for that again?
Prosopagnosia.
Prosopagnosia.
I believe so. Yeah.
Wow.
So then a lot of people, like the guy who couldn't see the difference between his wife's face and a hat, he was leaving one day and he was meant to grab his hat, but instead he just grabbed his wife's face.
Ouch.
Because he can't tell the difference. It's crazy how people
Well, your
suffer
hat
from
won't
that.
hit you back, but your wife will.
Yeah. Like that's crazy how
Isn't it?
people, oh my God. I just can't believe that. Can you imagine not seeing someone's face?
No, that's part of the joy of life, I think. You know, seeing people's face, and because you can read so much into their facial expressions.
Yeah.
We got to go. We'll see you next week.